Welcome to Ole Walls House. It's me. It's your man. It's your main man. It's Ole Walls, and I'm back with you. Episode 115 coming your way. We got a big one this week. Ladies and gentlemen, the NCAA tournament is here. It kicks off in full on Thursday, and that is going to be the majority of what this pod's going to be about. Before we get to that, if you could please comment, subscribe, rate, review, share. Let people know about Ole Walls House. It's the place to be. Let them know. Come hang out. Do all those things. And as always, I just want to say thank you to everybody. I appreciate the support. I appreciate the watches, the listens, and everybody kind of letting me know you've been out there. So thank you guys so much. Thank you to producer Kevy, as always, who has continued to help me into transitioning to kind of edit this on my own. So big thanks to him. Like I said, this pod, we're talking NCAA tournament. So got a couple of guests coming your way. We're going to go through every single game in the first round. And then I will be putting out our second round picks on the new Ole Walls House Twitter account, X account. And so the stuff that won't make, this pod but the games will be decided by the time we do the next pod. That will be all on the Twitter account. It's going to be the record of how we've been doing, the picks in between pods, all that stuff. We'll keep you up to date there. That's at Ole Walls House. Before we dive in, Liquid IV, if you're looking for 20% off, I got you covered. Promo code OWH gets you 20% off Liquid IV. I love Liquid IV. I use it almost every day. I like the convenient packaging. You get your one little package. It's good for the road too. Put in 16 ounces of water. You're good to go. You got twice the hydration of water, 3 times the hydration of water alone, double the amount of electrolytes of your leading sports drinks. It's non-GMO. It's non-vegan. It is vegan, non-dairy. And Liquid IV believes in equitable access to water worldwide. They've donated over 39 million servings of water. So without any further ado, let's talk some NCAA tournament. Gentlemen, we're back. It's our favorite time of the year. It is the NCAA tournament. We are going to begin our process today of picking every single game. First of all, back with us, Mr. Eric Appley. Eric's been with us from the start on this journey. Bucky, how we doing today, pal?
I'm great. Thank you for having me. It's an honor and a privilege.
And a new face in this segment, but a familiar face to the pod. We have Jeff Slanovic is jumping in, usually Mr. Zach Place. Some may know him as the hardest worker in America, is usually with us, but alas, his schedule did not allow it. So we've tagged Jeffy in. He is now free to participate in this with us. Jeff, how you doing today, buddy?
I am great. Unfortunately, I have not seen the tweet come across my feed yet that Kyle Neptune has been fired. But besides that, great.
All right. This is my first time looking at a bracket. I've watched plenty of North Carolina this year, not much else. I know you two have been watching some basketball, but I know, Bucky, you just grabbed a bracket right before we started to look at. And yep. Jeff has told me this is his first time looking at it. So we're flying by the seat of our pants here, like usual. So we're going to start with the first four. The first four game is going to be Grambling State and Montana State. Now, Jeff, new to you here is we have kind of an unspoken rule that is spoken very often, that you don't usually take states that aren't associated with actual states. So Grambling State falls into this for us. So I'll lead us off here. We got Montana State -3.5 against Grambling State. I'm going to take Montana State because you're not supposed to take Grambling State, not a real state. Jeff, why don't you do the honor of being the next off here?
I am, for different reasons, going to follow you and take Montana State, as their head coach was actually a Division III head coach a number of years ago, who happened to play at Lehigh when I was one of the ball kids running around as a kid. First-year head coach at Montana State, leads a big upset through whatever that league is tournament, and here they are getting to play in primetime.
That is exactly the kind of reasoning we're looking for. Just completely nothing to do with basketball. I love it.
First of all, your insight is way more in-depth than anything I'm going to have to offer, but I love that. The ball boy at Lehigh, I could see it. I'm surprised you're not still a ball boy at Lehigh.
We actually, as I do. I can provide some real stuff. The head coach at Montana State is Matt Logie. and they had a
Wow.
bobblehead giveaway when he was at Lehigh, and it happens to be right up here. So let's go Montana State.
Oh God,
That's a good one. We might be taking Montana State to the Final Four at this point.
Do you want to just throw out? Are you interested in Grambling State just to be a different opinion, or are we just rolling Montana State there?
I am fully aboard the Montana State train at this point.
Okay, Montana State it is. Next up is Colorado, -2.5 against Boise State. Boise State here, another state that's not a state. We'll go around the horn. Jeff, you lead us off this time.
I'm going to violate the rules here in game 2.
What do you know?
Shocker.
Because I just don't trust this Colorado
Rules.
team. I thought they caught a big break getting to play Oregon in the final. I'm not sure they should be in the NCAA tournament, and I hope they lose.
Okay, Boise State for Jeff. Eric.
First of all, no one hates rules more than Slano. So that doesn't surprise me at all. Do we know, does Boise State play on a blue basketball court or no?
I didn't think they did.
I don't believe they do, but that's a great question. That's the kind of questions that we should be asking as we make
the Boise
picks.
State court, while it has a lot of blue in it, is not a blue court. It is a wood court with Broncos. Here, I can even show you this. It's just, technology is a wonderful thing here. That's the designs of the Boise State court that you're looking at there. So,
oh, that's a nice court.
I do kind of like that. I'm gonna go with Colorado.
And I'll jump on that as well. Colorado will be the pick. I will adhere to our homemade rule. We will take Colorado. So first time Jeffy has been outruled. I'm guessing it won't be the last.
Well, if we went 3 for 3 in every single game we did, it would not really be a very good podcast.
True. Plus, you love
sure it is
on the
anyway.
Other side.
Next first 4 game, we have Michigan State -1.5 against Mississippi State. Lots of states here early.
That's not a first 4 game.
That is not a first 4 game.
You're right. I lied. I clicked over too far. That's my bad. That's my bad.
That's why I went and got a bracket.
Does the first 4 start tonight? Holy shit. The first 4 starts tomorrow night. I was just on the wrong dates. So we skipped the first. Those are the Wednesday games. The Tuesday games, the first one is Wagner and Howard. And Howard. Howard is -3.5.
Are we picking against the spread?
Yeah.
Okay. That's good. Don't know what the spread was in those first 2 games, but
it was 3.5 and 2.5.
Okay. All right. Do I get to go first on this one?
You sure do.
Do we know what conference Howard is in and what conference Wagner is in?
Wagner is in the NEC, which is what FDU was in.
I would have said Big Sky.
And I want to say Howard is in the MEAC. Sound like it could be correct?
Are either of these schools HBCUs?
Isn't Howard?
That's what I feel like one of them should be, and I think it's Howard, but I'm not confident, and I would like
Howard
to know that.
Howard is in the MEAC.
The MEAC.
1 for 1. 2 for 2, because Wagner's definitely the NEC.
Good job, Jeff.
Howard. Oh, that's a Howard in Texas. I think this is the one this is Howard University, not Howard College, right? Howard University is a private university in Washington, D.C.
Mm-hmm.
Federally chartered, historically black research university. Yes.
Okay. I like Howard.
Jeff.
I don't believe that any of the teams in the NEC are overly good. Having followed it a little bit this year, I will also take Howard.
That's a clean sweep, ladies and gentlemen. That's Howard, -3.5. We have yet to take a dog. And then the nightcap Tuesday night, we have Colorado State against Jeff's favorite team, Virginia. Jeff, since it's your favorite team, Virginia, I'm going to let you lead this one.
Anyone but this Virginia team. So Colorado, as far as I know, is a state. So Colorado State, because this Virginia team stinks. And this game may stink, and it may set basketball back a really long time. It's a good thing it's really late on a Tuesday. Colorado State.
Yeah, I'm taking Colorado State too. Virginia's awful, and there is zero chance I watch this fucking basketball game.
Get your sleep in Tuesday night. You don't need to see this rock fight.
Yep. I'm gonna just say yes. We hate Virginia. We love Colorado State, and take the under, no matter how low it is.
It is 118.
Take the under and go to bed early, so you don't even have to suffer through it.
All right, we got those. We did them out of order anyway, so we're gonna move and go bracket by bracket now. So we're gonna start in the East. The first matchup we run into is Connecticut and Stetson. Connecticut is giving 26.5. I'll start us off here. I hate Connecticut. I cannot stand Danny Hurley. I would love to see them lose. That said, I don't think they will. I think they win. I think they win big. I think this team likes to run the score up, and I think they cover. I'll take UConn, and I will lay the 26.5.
Fair enough. Does that mean I go next?
Sure.
I like Danny Hurley. I like UConn, and I will also pick UConn.
I love Danny Hurley. I think he's great for college basketball, and I do think there's a chance that they absolutely run the score up here. Though the second round matchup is potentially very intriguing for them. We will talk about that game next. So there's a chance they call off the Dogs. I think they need to win by like 35 to cover, because I think they do.
Okay, since you're so intrigued with the next game, it is FAU and Northwestern. That is the 8-9 matchup. That is FAU giving 2.5. I would like to point out we are 5 picks in. We've taken all the favorites. That usually works out very well in March. Just saying. Jeff, lead us off. Uh-oh.
He's frozen.
Jeff is frozen.
He's frozen.
Eric, it goes to you then. FAU and Northwestern.
It's a great pose that he had going there.
He did.
So we're still rolling here?
We're still rolling.
Good. I like Northwestern. I do not like Florida Atlantic. I watched them lose. I only watched the last minute of the game, but I watched them lose their conference championship game. I didn't like what I saw. And again, I like Northwestern, so Northwestern it is.
Luckily, we don't really need Jeff then, because I have seen Northwestern a couple times for whatever reason, and I'm going to take them. I tend to like the 8-9 game when you can get points, because they tend to be pretty close. So I'll take Northwestern as well, and we are getting 2.5 there, 2.5. All right, we move on to the first 5-12 matchup. San Diego State and UAB. San Diego State is getting 6.5. Jeff has rejoined us.
He back.
We took Northwestern, by the way.
I like that pick.
Okay, good.
What is
good.
the line in that game? I don't know.
2.5.
Ooh. FAU. I'm not. Their resume stinks.
Okay, good.
Right. Thank you. I agree.
Well, since you didn't get the ability to lead us off on the last one, we have San Diego State. They are 6.5 point favorites against UAB. First 5-12 matchup we've come across here.
Yeah, and I don't like that I have to lead us off here, because I have no idea if the Mountain West is any good or not. They have so many teams in this tournament. I assume that if I love them, they will lose, and if I hate them, they will ruin my bracket. So with that being said, San Diego State went to the Final Four last year, and UAB did not. So I side with San Diego State.
Okay. Eric?
Well, that was solid reasoning. I, for one, didn't even remember that San Diego State went to the Final Four. Did they go to the final game? Didn't they win on an awesome buzzer beater one game?
They did, didn't they?
Oh boy.
Jeff? Oh, he's still with us.
I feel
Yeah,
like
they did. I think so too. It'll be played. We'll see it this year. And then we'll all remember it. I'm gonna say, when in doubt, take the 12 seed, so I'll take UAB.
Ooh, leaves me with the first decision to be made here. UAB, the Blazers, they got a cool
The
little dragon.
Blazers. Yeah,
Cool
very
dragon
cool
for a thing.
mascot. Yep.
But the Aztecs are also a cool mascot as well. But
Would that be a Native American though?
it's sure indigenous people would be the correct term, Eric. Please.
Thank you.
Please keep it, up the code here.
I forgot we're PC here.
We sure are. But the Blazers with their little dragon is what's going to put us over the edge here. We're going to do UAB and the 6.5 points. So UAB will be getting the nod from us.
Does Slano need to plug in or something? He's only at 20%.
That's fine. That's just the upload. We're good. Maybe. I have to edit this now. Producer Kevy has stepped away, so Slano is going to make my night a fucking living hell. But it's fine.
Okay.
Auburn and Yale is next up, a 13-4 matchup. Auburn minus 12.5. Big favorite here over the Yale Bulldogs. Eric, why don't you lead us? You look like you're chomping at the bit on this one.
The problem is I actually kind of like both of these teams. I will say this, though. We know for sure that Yale has the highest IQ in the tournament. We think Auburn might have the lowest IQ in the tournament as a team. Not IQ, GPA, whatever you want to say. But Auburn's really good. Yale. Give me Yale.
Jeff, you go.
I love Auburn, but it feels like a game that Yale has the ability to stay in for a long time. They got a little bit lucky to win the Ivy League. Brown kind of crapped down their leg a little bit, but I feel like Yale. That's a lot of points.
Yeah, I was going Yale because there was a lot of points as well. So Yale 12.5 will be the pick. We move on. BYU, the Mormons versus the Duquesne Dukes. Duquesne is getting 9.5 here. I'll go here first. I took Duquesne in my bracket to win outright, so I will take Duquesne getting 9.5. Jeff, what do you got for us?
I think you're nuts for doing that. The A10 bracket completely blew up, and that's how we have Duquesne here in the final. I don't think any of the top 4 seeds won that. First, real fact, bracket-wise, that I will bring to this, BYU is a 6 seed, believe it or not, only because they can play on Sunday. Or they can't play on Sunday. What's the deal with BYU? They can't.
They're Mormons.
They got bumped from a 5 to a 6 seed to fit their needs, days-wise. And supposedly Duquesne has been moved up to an 11 to ensure that BYU plays a 12 the way they should be slotted. That's a rumor that I saw that would make a lot of sense. I believe BYU is very good. I will take BYU.
12 seeds beat 5 seeds all the time, Jeff.
This isn't. I
liked BYU a lot until you gave me that information. The fact that this is a 5-12 scares me now because I always like to take the 12 seeds. However, BYU probably has a guy that can shoot the ball quite well, a la Jimmer Fredette, and because of that, I'm going to pick BYU.
BYU is the pick. We lay the points. 9.5. Next up, Illinois. Another larger spread here. Illinois minus 12.5, playing Morehead State. Bucky, why don't you start us off?
Yep. So we have our rule. Morehead State always had a cool hat, though. A lot of people like the Morehead State hat. I'm going to go with Illinois because I think Illinois has the potential to be quite good.
Jeff.
I am going to take Morehead State just because I know that we will not. And I think that the entire Big Ten is vulnerable. I don't think Illinois is overly great. And I think Morehead State can keep the big spread close. But I know it violates your rules, so we will have Illinois.
Rules are meant to be broken, Jeff. Morehead State, give me the points. That is a lot of points. Illinois doesn't impress me. I may have just yelled right in Eric's ear there. I saw him adjust right as I screamed that. So Morehead State, I'm breaking the rule. We're going to take the 12.5. 12.5 from the Morehead State. Bonus points to whoever can name what the Morehead State mascot is.
The Marauders.
I like that guess, but you are incorrect. It is the Eagles. Okay. The Eagles.
I was going to say Eagles.
Ooh. One of my favorite animals.
Next up, Morehead State alum, correct? Was that the last time they were good? It was Kenneth Farid, a Morehead State alum. I feel like they won a game in the tournament with him. Is that right?
Didn't they go to the Sweet 16 one year?
He did go to Morehead State.
DVH is full of the knowledge.
Yes. Next up, 7-10 matchup, Washington State and Drake. The line is Drake. The 10 seed is the favorite, -1.5. Jeff, what do you think when Vegas gives us the what's supposed underdog as the favorite?
I think we take them. I like Drake.
Okay. We're going to take away some of the suspense here. I like Drake too. When I see a lower seed get the favorite line, I like to take them. So Drake -1.5 is going to be the pick. Eric, any fighting words there?
Nope, I like Drake as well.
Okay, and then we have Iowa State and South Dakota State to finish off the East bracket. Iowa State is a 16.5 point favorite. Bucky, do we feel like that's bolstered at all by the fact that they just ran Houston out of the building?
Yeah, it's probably too many points. It's probably, for sure, bolstered by that. And South Dakota State is probably going to cover the spread.
Jeffy.
I am going to agree with Eric. I think the line is slightly inflated by that 20-plus point victory against Houston. I also think that Iowa State is a completely different team when they're not at home, and the Big 12 tournament seemed like it was home games for them the entire time. I don't know where this game is being played. If you tell me it's in somewhere near Iowa, then maybe they run them out of the gym. But I like South Dakota State. Big number.
Appears that it's being played in Omaha.
Mm-hmm.
They can get to Omaha from Iowa.
Omaha, not that far from South Dakota State.
Just sounds like a boring drive either way.
Oh, yes, it is. I've done both of those drives a number of times. All right, that wraps up the East bracket. On to the West now. North Carolina will be playing the winner of Howard and Wagner. We chose Howard. This line is probably going to be coming in somewhere around the 30 number, you'd have to think. As the resident Tar Heel fan here, I'll say the Heels end up blowing them out. Whatever the number is, they cover, as long as it's under 34.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah, that is a lot.
If it's 34, I'd like the other side.
I'd like the other side either way because I like Howard.
Okay, the boys like Howard in the West, regardless. All right.
Can we take Howard but not Wagner? I'd like that.
We can take Howard but not Wagner.
That. I'm on board with that as well.
All right, Howard but not Wagner is the pick for that game. Next up is Mississippi State and Michigan State. -1.5. The Fighting Tom Izzos are the favorite. Jeff, you were bemoaning the Michigan State entry into the tournament. I'll let you lead it off.
I think they stink. But They have Tom Izzo. And I don't know what to do with this game. I know that I will get it wrong. Whoever I pick. So I'm just going to, I'd rather yell at Izzo than yell at Mississippi State. So I like Michigan State.
Okay. Eric?
Who's the head coach for Mississippi State, Jeff?
That is Chris Jans.
I haven't heard of him. Michigan State, for obvious
Michigan
reasons.
State. I'm not taking against them.
No, I'm definitely going to lose now.
Yeah, totally. Next up, second 5-12 matchup, St. Mary's minus 5.5 against Grand Canyon. Isn't Grand Canyon a internet college?
No, that would be the University of Phoenix.
That one is too, but I'm pretty sure Grand Canyon is too. That said, I'll take St. Mary's to start off the festivities. Bucky, why don't you go next for us?
I like Grand Canyon. Grand Canyon is a great place, and these guys wear purple, and they probably have a cool mascot.
Jeff, it all comes down to you then.
I'm going to take Grand Canyon only because I think St. Mary's plays the game a little bit slower, and I think that hurts you in the tournament as you're trying to cover a spread of this amount. And I think they win, but don't cover.
Win, but no cover. Grand Canyon is a private Christian university in Phoenix, is what I saw. They are the Antelopes. So the Antelopes are the pick.
Love the
next
Antelopes.
Up, in I think what is the highest over-under set out there, Alabama and Charleston. We have a Alabama minus 9 with Charleston getting the over-under being 172.5. Jeff, talk to us about it.
It's a lot of points. If Alabama makes shots, they can beat anybody in the tournament. They also tend to hate playing defense. That makes me believe that Charleston can score. However, I like Alabama in this game. I think they're going to score a ton of points in round one. And I don't know that this Charleston team is quite as good as some of, I believe, Pat Kelsey is their head coach, his teams of the last year or two.
Okay, this is a Friday 7:30 game. This should be must-see TV. Eric has gone off camera. Does that mean Eric is not interested in being next up on the pick?
Sorry about that. I'll go next. I like Charleston.
Charleston. Eric likes Charleston. Do the Charleston shuffle, he says. I'm going to go with the V cheer. I've seen Alabama play. I like it. Haven't seen Charleston, but I heard they like to go up and down. I think they're playing into Alabama's hands, so I will take Alabama, and I will lay the 9.5. That scares me as I say it, but I think I still like it. Next up is Clemson and New Mexico, a 6-11 matchup. Bucky, why don't you start us off here?
Spread?
Oh, sorry, 1.5. New Mexico, minus 1.5. The 11 seed is the favorite.
That's disrespectful. That is disrespectful. Clemson.
Ooh,
I like
Bucky
Clemson.
likes Clemson.
Dabo is going to go in there and give them a pregame speech to remember. They're going to come out feeling slighted. They're going to play with a chip on their shoulder. And they have that one guard from Syracuse who really stinks, but he scored a lot of points in high school, so he must have played somewhere like the NTL. So we like Clemson.
I have seen Clemson play. I do not like them. Not like dislike the team. I just do not like the game that they present. And having seen that, and having seen the fact that New Mexico is minus 1.5, I like when the underdog is the Vegas favorite. I will take New Mexico, the Lobos. Jeff, it all rides on you here, pal.
Yeah, this is two of my tournament picks kind of coming to hay here. I think the ACC stinks, as evidenced by Arizona being the favorite to win this region in Vegas. And I think the Mountain West is going to crush me, whether I pick them or not. So I'm going to go with New Mexico.
New Mexico it is.
Vegas knows.
God, there are a lot of favorites on our board here. Next up, Baylor is not hosting. Nobody's hosting. Baylor is the favorite against Colgate, minus 13.5. Jeff, start us off here.
Yeah, I would take the Patriot League team. Big Patriot League guy. I think this is one of Colgate's worst teams. I think Baylor wins and covers.
Eric?
Why do you think Colgate's so bad?
I just don't think they've had a great year. They struggled to get through the Patriot League tournament. They did beat Lehigh pretty good in the final, but it was kind of a grind up to that point. I just don't think this is. Usually you look at the Colgate and be like, yep, this is going to be one of the popular 14-3, 13-4 upsets. I don't think this is the year.
Okay. I like Colgate. Based on that, I like Colgate.
I'm just happy I don't have to watch this. I said Baylor hosting. I'm happy they're not hosting because it's the worst camera angle in college basketball history. I don't know where they've positioned that goddamn TV camera at their stadium, but it's fucking terrible. That said, I'm gonna take them. Baylor Bears. I'm gonna lay the points. You know what? No, I'm not. I can't do it.
A reversal.
Reverse. Uno reverse card. Give me Colgate. Give me 13.5. I'll take those points.
I like it.
Next up, Dayton Flyers and Nevada. The Wolfpack, I believe. Nevada minus 1.5. I think in the past we haven't liked Nevada for obvious reasons.
Ooh,
I don't think the obvious reason is there anymore, but I will still take the Dayton Flyers in honor of my morning listen to the Dan Patrick Show. So I'll take the Dayton Flyers getting 1.5. Bucky, you can go next here, pal.
How do the Dayton Flyers correlate to the Dan Patrick Show?
I think he went there for a year and then played basketball for a year and then quit out and went somewhere else.
Okay. That's interesting. I have not seen either of these teams play. I know nothing about either one. Nevada has made a run many times in the past, and they're the Wolfpack, which is kind of a cool mascot, not the worst. I'm gonna go in Nevada just to make it interesting.
All comes down to you, Jeff, in the hammer position.
I'm going to side with Eric. Apparently, I love the Mountain West, and apparently they're gonna screw me. But again, Vegas has a 10 seed favored over a 7 seed, and that tells me Nevada.
Nevada it is, and the final game in this bracket, Arizona minus 20.5 against the 15 seed Long Beach State. Bucky, start us off.
I like Long Beach State.
Ooh, rules meant to be broken. Going against the rule. Jeff.
I love Arizona to potentially win the entire tournament this season. But I will be rooting for Long Beach State to put a cover into this game. I think that whoever is the athletic director at Long Beach State should be fired. They fired their head coach earlier this season, but allowed him to finish the season. And
like just this week, right?
Yep. They fired him before the conference tournament, and then the players rallied behind him, and they won the conference tournament. But he's fine.
Love that.
And Tommy Lloyd has never covered a game in the NCAA tournament as a coach. I hope that changes. I think if they can get to Carolina, they've got a big guy to match up with them. But I like Long Beach State to cover this game.
Looks like
and
Long
win.
Beach
and
State
win.
Getting 20.5 will be the pick.
Long Beach State on the money line for those of you who like money.
That's a sprinkle. Sprinkle it.
Mm-hmm.
South region, we start with, were they the number? No, UConn was the number 1 overall seed. Houston is the number 1 seed in the South region. They're playing Longwood. That sounds like a name made up by J.B. Sullivan for the name of a college. Houston, give me 24.5 against Longwood. Jeff, start us, buddy.
I would imagine that Longwood is going to struggle to score in the first half of this game. Their first half team total under. I love whatever that is. I feel like we get an inspired Houston performance early. I think they hold on to cover late. I like Houston to win a game in which Longwood struggles to score.
Eric, if you can tell me where Longwood, what state they're from, I will take them. If not, it's going to be a Houston runaway here.
Damn, that's tough. California.
Incorrect. They are from Farmville, Virginia.
Yep.
So it looks like Houston minus 24.5 will be the pick.
I'm on Longwood. Put that on the record.
Bucky's on Longwood. You got it. I have made note of that for us. Next up is Nebraska minus 1.5 against Texas A&M. Texas A&M in the SEC, maybe the best basketball conference in the country this year. Are they better than the Big 12? Are they not? Either way, I think the SEC is better than the Big 10 in basketball. I'll start us off. I'll take Texas A&M. Give me that 1.5. Hopefully, it's just a buzzer beater. Bucky, you're shaking your head.
Nebraska is my Cinderella story team this year. They have a dude who looks like Jackie Moon. They have an Asian.
I didn't know that when I made my pick here.
Well, you should watch him. He wears short shorts. He's got long hair and a headband, very long hair, curly, and he wears 2 wristbands on his wrists. And he's massive, and he's a great rebounder. Sets good screens. Slano probably knows his name. He's amazing. But he's not even my favorite player on their team because they have number 30 who plays like Stephen Curry. He is of Asian descent, and he looks like he should be on the Nebraska. He might also be on the Nebraska Chess Club team.
Headband, right? He wears
gets buckets,
also, right?
He wears a headband. Yep, he's left-handed.
I'm switching my pick right now, by the way.
He gets a lot of buckets. Nebraska to the Final Four. Nebraska to win, to cover. Nebraska for sure.
I'm switching my pick to Nebraska after that. That explanation has moved me to Nebraska 100%. Jeff, do you have a dissenting opinion at all?
I do. I think the Big 12 is filled with teams that are really good at home. I'm sorry, Nebraska's in the Big 10 now, aren't they?
I was going to say, neither of these teams are in the Big 12.
No, but Nebraska's a team that's been really good at home this year. If my eyes tell a good story, this game is not going to be played in their home arena. I do believe the SEC is the best basketball school. They have a guy named Wade Taylor who's going to get buckets in this game. And while the Big East is the second best basketball conference, you wouldn't know it looking at the bracket. I like Texas A&M.
I'm going to make a note that I originally said Texas A&M, but that Bucky persuaded me here. But Nebraska is the official pick, no matter what. Next up in the 5-12 matchup in this region is the Pardon My Take Bowl. Big Cats, Wisconsin Badgers, and PFT's James Madison Dukes. Jeffy, as the biggest Barstool fan in the group here so far, I'll let you start us off.
What is the spread? I actually don't. I assume it's closer than we think. What's the spread?
Oh shit! I should tell you that.
Yes, you should.
5.5. Wisconsin minus 5.5.
That screams low. Wisconsin's playing really well, doesn't it? That screams that this is like the 5-12 upset for me to take.
James Madison is 31-3. Not to interrupt, but that's an impressive record.
I like James Madison. Wisconsin just played really well in the Big Ten tournament this week, and that spread feels like it should be 7.5 or 8. Vegas knows something. James Madison.
Bucky.
I like James Madison too.
James Madison, it will be. I will say I watched the Wisconsin-Purdue game out at the golf simulator while with my my Wednesday night men's league team. It was a blast watching with a bunch of Wisconsin fans. That said, it feels like the Wisconsin run is over. I too like the James Madison Dukes
at least
in that 5-12 matchup.
Team scores. This is not your like Virginia,
They do.
Wisconsin team. This team can actually put the ball in the hoop.
Yep. Next up is Duke and Vermont. Vermont, a former killer of the Syracuse Orange way back in the day. Do they have one more upset in America?
It still crushes my soul to think about that game that night.
That is the Gus Johnson from the parking lot game originally, I believe.
TJ Sorrentine.
Yep, one that I'll never forget. Oh, jeepers.
Duke is giving 11.5, by the way.
I hate Duke. You guys know that. Give me Vermont. Screw it.
Jeff, if there's going to be any balance, you got to be the
better
one to give it
Duke.
here.
There's going to be balance. We're going to give Wally a chance to chat. I think this bracket is tailor-made for Duke. As much as I think the ACC stinks, I think this bracket on the top half sets up perfectly for Duke. I think Duke wins and covers.
Duke will never get by Nebraska. Go ahead, Jordan.
We'll say this. I took Duke to the Elite Eight. I have them going down to Marquette. I do have them getting by Houston. That said, this is going to be the tease of the first weekend. Everybody's going to think, Friday 7:00 game.
Oh, great!
They're putting this shit right in prime time. Everyone's going to think Vermont's got the chance. They're going to give it a fucking hellish run. Duke's going to win. But Vermont is going to cover. Good teams win, but great teams cover. And Vermont covers the spread. They take the 11.5 and they keep it in the ballpark. Which leads us next to Texas Tech and NC State. Jeff, conference guru, what conference is Texas Tech in?
Texas Tech is in the Big 12, and Texas Tech is good. And
they are giving 4.5 to NC State.
We will believe that the NC State run is over. Although the big kid Escalade for NC State is just a beauty on the low block.
Is his name actually Escalade?
No. Rest in peace, Escalade. He's not with us anymore, right?
Who's Escalade?
Cody Taylor kept calling him Hot Sauce, and I thought that was a pretty good nickname for him, too.
Hot Sauce is also one of the N1 mixtape guys, just like Escalade was. But Escalade was a big guy, and Hot Sauce was a guard.
Oh, I remember Hot Sauce.
Another chat of mine kept calling him Big Daddy Bojangles.
That's pretty funny, too.
Buckets all week in that ACC tournament. But I think the run ends. Texas Tech is good. Grant McCaslin's a really good coach.
I'm jumping on the Texas Tech bandwagon. NC State they've blown their load. It's over. Texas Tech will win that game by 10 plus points, and they're only given 4.5. Was there something to add there, Eric? Or?
No, I'm fine with it. You guys know your basketball, so I'm sure that there's no chance that NC State could cover that game.
Next up is Kentucky, minus 13.5 against Oakland. Eric, since you feel so slighted about the last pick, apparently, you can start us.
What's the spread? 12.5?
13.5.
Man, I think Kentucky's really good. Slano and I share a love of Coach Calipari.
He's a fucking scumbag.
I know you don't like him. I would love to pick Oakland. I do also like Oakland. They've pulled off upsets in the past, but I like Kentucky. I like this Kentucky team, and I am picking Kentucky.
I think Jeff has decided to leave us again.
Oh,
if I go to my phone to look for something, that means I'm out.
Oh, okay.
No, you're just off camera. That's all.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
fine.
I'm trying to find something.
That's
good. All right. We can still hear you.
That's fine. You're going to get the perfect hammer position here because our good friend, Matt Waiter, friend of the pod, friend of the group here, has told me Kentucky stinks and they're overrated and they're going to lose early in the tournament. And I'm going to be his voice here for us. I'm gonna bring him in.
Okay.
He refuses to participate in this this venture of ours here. So I'm gonna take Oakland getting the 13.5. I'll take Kentucky to win, but Oakland covers. So Jeff,
Love
it all
Matt
comes down to
Wader.
you.
I'm
Love
going to
Matt
take
Wader, just don't love that pick.
I'm going to take Kentucky, and I'm going to bring a stat that I saw today on Twitter to who I believe is going to the Final Four, and that is Kentucky. That says that they are shooting 41% from three this season, which would be a new school record. In the 5 NCAA tournament seasons in which they shot at least 37.5% from three, they have made the Elite Eight all 5 times, the Final Four times, and they have won the national championship on 2 of those occasions. This is a Kentucky team that shoots the ball, they score, and they are going to win in bunches in this NCAA tournament.
Kentucky it
Should
is.
be on TV. That was amazing.
Kentucky minus 13.5. 13.5.
Can't wait for them to lose now.
Next up is Florida facing the winner of Boise State and Colorado. We took Colorado just to keep the idea here. Jeff, you finished us off last time. Start us off this time.
I think the SEC is good. I think Florida scores. I think they win. We don't know what the spread is going to be in this game. I would envision it being somewhere, I would guess, in like 4.5 to 6.5. Does that sound like it could be right? Somewhere in there.
Seems fair.
I think it's close to that, but I think Florida wins the game. I like them to cover up to like 5.5 or 6.
Eric.
I guess we really love the SEC, which scares me.
It just means more.
Oh, all right. They probably Is the Florida coach over or under 34 years old? He looks really young.
I believe he's just barely over.
Okay. I'll roll with it. Florida.
Yeah, no arguments there. Florida basketball coach Todd Golden is 38 years old.
He's a pup.
He does not look it.
Loves
And the final game in that bracket, Marquette minus 14.5 against Western Kentucky. I'll start us off. I have Marquette going to my Final Four, so I'm looking for a big 20-point win out of the Golden Eagles to start us off. So I will take Marquette, and I will lay the points minus 14.5. Jeff, what do you got for us?
Wally is telling us that he believes that Shaka Smart is going to make it to the second weekend for the first time since he took VCU to the Final Four in 2011.
High school is about 10 minutes from where I live. I will throw that out there.
I tend to believe Marquette is very good. They should get Tyler Kolek back for the NCAA tournament, and I think they roll in round 1. Marquette.
Marquette is the pick. Bucky, anything before we move on to the next bracket?
I like the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers.
The Hilltoppers is a great name.
It's a great name. They've won before. Marquette is really good, but I don't like Shaka Smart, so go Hilltoppers.
They get to play
Hilltoppers
defenders, though.
The amoeba defense, they call it.
All right, we'll move on to the next bracket. The Midwest bracket, led off by the Purdue Boilermakers. Purdue will play the winner of Montana State and somebody. Who was that? Grambling. Montana State and Grambling. We took Montana State in that. I don't know. I mean, I assume we throw Purdue in there. I don't know. Anyone got anything for us there? I fucking hate this bullshit first four stuff.
I love Purdue. I think they're really good. Purdue.
I second every word of what Eric just said.
Anything to add, Jeff?
Purdue.
Okay, cool. Next up, 8-9, Utah State and TCU. Yeah, I heard
you.
Oh, all right. I thought you couldn't hear Eric, so I thought maybe.
No, I heard everybody. Uh, next up, Utah State and TCU. TCU minus 3.5. Jeff, start us off.
Interesting line. Don't know anything about Utah State, but they have a smaller number next to them than TCU, and TCU is favored. TCU.
TCU from Jeffy. Man, I'll let Bucky go because I have a lean. So
I just wanted to look this up. Utah State's head coach, is his name actually Danny Sprinkle?
Sure is.
We're gonna sprinkle on Danny Sprinkle.
Oh yeah, if Danny Sprinkle is the name, then yes, Utah State plus 3.5 is gonna get us that. If you guys bring me little nuggets like that, that's gonna really determine where my bet goes. Next up, a game I'm sure we've all been waiting for.
Oh yeah.
Jeff, do you want to start us off? Gonzaga and McNeese?
Sure, although I don't know that this is going to go in the direction that you think it is going to go in.
That's McNeese State, by the way, and McNeese State is getting 6.5. Gonzaga minus 6.5.
They are getting 6.5. McNeese State played one of the worst non-conference schedules of all time. A terrific non-conference schedule put together by Will Wade for them to back up the win total. And I think Gonzaga's pretty good. They played really well besides that West Coast Conference final against St. Mary's. I think they cover the spread here against McNeese State. That is not where you both thought that I was going.
Not at all.
Sorry, Brandon.
McNeese is not a state.
They're not.
McNeese is not a state.
You're up next, Eric.
McNeese is not a state.
Okay, so you're taking Gonzaga?
Mm-hmm.
There was zero fucking chance that the word was going down that this podcast was going to ever take McNeese. The Gonzaga Bulldogs were getting picked over hell or high water. I don't care what anybody said. There was no way that McNeese was being picked. If you know, you know. And the reason is McNeese has an absolute douchebag on the coaching staff. So fuck them. Gonzaga, let's go Bulldogs. Minus 6.5. I would lay 30.5 against fucking McNeese.
Oh, that was deep.
For the record, I would
aggressive.
gladly give you 30.5 if you would like. I will take McNeese State. We can
fuck them
off the record, off the line.
All right.
Gonzaga minus 6.5. Kansas is up next. They are minus 7.5 against Stanford, or not Stanford, Samford. Sorry, I'm a little fired. So, who wants to start us here? Bucky, why don't you start us? Kansas minus 7.5 in the 4-13 match against Samford.
I don't know much about this college basketball stuff, but I know that Kansas has been struggling ever since they lost that big guy. Samford, I don't know first. I don't even know what state or where Samford might be.
I think they're in Florida.
There's a Samford in North Carolina.
North Carolina,
is
I think.
A town. Are they in that town?
North Carolina, Tennessee, somewhere in that.
Samford University is in Alabama.
Alabama, there you go.
Right. That was my next guess.
Close.
I'll take Samford because they're from Alabama.
Jeff?
I believe, and he
is furiously typing.
The Samford basketball coach's first name is Bucky. And at Samford, they play Bucky ball. And Bucky ball is fast-paced.
We like where this is going.
A couple years ago, he was coaching high school basketball. He's now the head coach at Samford, and they fly the ball up and down the floor. This is an incredible game if those Kansas dudes are not at 100%, because Bucky ball could definitely pull the upset here. I'm going to also take Samford. I don't think you can trust Kansas right now. Their best can win the entire thing. Hard to trust that we're going to get their best.
Bucky McMillan is the coach of Samford. He is 77-40 in his college career. He was from 2006 to 2008. He was the assistant coach at Mountain Brook High School. Then took over Mountain Brook High School from 2008 to 2020, and then graduated directly to Samford. Who did he have dirt on?
Wow.
I do have Kansas in my Final Four, and I'm looking for a Cinderella kind of run. They're going to be inspired, but Samford plus 7.5 is the pick.
We love them.
Next up, South Carolina, the 6th seed, minus 1.5 against Oregon. Oregon, the Ducks, the Quack Attack. Jeffy, start us.
I know nothing about either of these two teams. I had no idea South Carolina was a 6 seed. I knew that they had won some games. I think their non-league schedule also stinks, if I remember correctly. Oregon, I was making fun of for being terrible as of a week ago. Somehow they make a run through the Pac-12 tournament and win it, snipe one of the Big East bids. I have no idea. I think this game probably is awesome because I think it'll stink, which means this is going to be the Jeffy buzzer beater special of round one. I don't know who's going to hit it, but I'm going to take South Carolina.
Bucky.
South Carolina has a great women's basketball team. I don't know anything about their men's basketball team. I don't know anything about Oregon. I like South Carolina.
Is South Carolina's women's coach, Dawn Staley?
Yeah, I don't like her too much, but
she's talking shit, right?
I'm gonna pass.
I was just gonna say South Carolina might have the best mascot in the NCAA tournament. The Gamecocks. We'll take the Cocks. South Carolina
Go
minus
Cocks.
1.5. Creighton, the Creighton Blue Jays are minus 13.5 against Akron. Creighton, the roommate, was taken there on a college visit and did not like it. Very, very strict. She tells me.
Ooh.
Bucky, why don't you start us there?
I have like one thought whenever I think about Akron. It's that they used to always play Penn State in football, and Penn State used to kill them. So I forever think that Akron sucks at everything. And Creighton's really good, so we're going Creighton.
I too like Creighton. We'll save ourselves some time. Jeff, if you have anything to add, Creighton minus 13.5 will be the pick.
Stand up for the Big East, boys.
Jeffy likes it. Texas will play the winner of Virginia and Colorado State. We chose Colorado State. I think we're going to like Texas here regardless of what happens in that game. If Colorado State's matched up with Virginia, I can't imagine us loving them against anybody else.
Fine by me.
Okay, Texas it is. And then the final pick of the first round, Tennessee is minus 21.5 to St. Peter's. Tennessee has Dalton Connect, obviously. I know things. Big brain here. Jeff, what do you got for us? Anything else about Tennessee or St. Peter's?
Rick Barnes should not be laying 21.5 against anybody in March. Anybody. St. Peter's.
Ooh, an early St. Peter's. A quick one. 21.5, Bucky. Does Tennessee cover that?
No, I'm with Jeff. I like St. Peter's.
St. Peter's is the pick at 21.5 to our favor. Gentlemen, we have picked 32 games. 36, actually, with the first four. We're in it. Quick answer. No diatribes. National champ pick. Bucky.
Nebraska.
Okay. Slano.
I am going to take Arizona to beat Kentucky.
All right. Heels to win it all, boys. See you next week. Let's talk to players just ever so quickly here. Scottie Scheffler in just another dominant performance. First player on tour to go back-to-back wins since Tiger Woods in 2007. First player ever to win the Players in back-to-back years. Granted, we did come into this Players, and I mentioned it, that this is a little bit, it feels like it's lost a step, obviously, because of the live defections and things like that. But this was a fantastic tournament, and it really showed up Sunday. And you had some players playing some very good rounds. I mean, Scottie Scheffler, first among them, shoots a Sunday 64 and wins by 1. You had Xander Schauffele and Wyndham Clark in the final group, who had some shaky moments out there, but got themselves back in it and had chances coming down the stretch. And you had a guy, Brian Harman, also finished second. Clark, Schauffele, and Harman all finished second at 19 under. I had my guy Little B in fantasy this week. I like him to begin with, but trying to get that fantasy win would have been nice for my fantasy bank account. Wyndham Clark showed some grit after kind of being wobbly throughout the day. Was not driving it very well. Ends up, coming back, making birdie on 16. Hitting a really good one in there on 17. Xander Schauffele did the same thing on 16, made birdie. Both of them left eagle putt short there and then hit good shots into 17. Xander did not make it, and Wyndham Clark's ball on 18 was way the fuck down in the hole and comes out and leads to Scottie Scheffler, a guy who was questionable to play the weekend by some accounts. Ted Scott, his caddy, was reportedly said that he told his wife Friday night that he wasn't sure that Scottie was going to play the weekend. And Scottie Scheffler continues this run that he's on that is just absolutely fantastic. And while the putter didn't let him down this week by any stretch of the imagination, it didn't gain him a ton. His strokes gained putting for the week plus 0.61. So just slightly above average. But again, he pures it. Strokes gained tee to green plus 6.48, by far the best in the field. Next best was Grayson Murray, who was for the event strokes gained tee to green plus 5.06. Where did he lose all the shots? Didn't do much around the green and didn't do much. He must have had a bad day. Oh, round 3, he lost. Oh, wait, nope, now we switched. Round 4. Grayson, show me Grayson. Can I keep him? Nope, I can't figure it out. But whatever. But yeah, Scottie Scheffler on Sunday goes 4 birdies out front, birdies 4, 5, 8, and 9, and that's when it was like, oh shit, Scottie's here again. Then birdies 11 and 12, and then only makes a birdie on 16 coming down the stretch to hang on. My guy, Brian Harman, who I was rooting my tail off for, got off to a slow start. Missed short putts on 1 and 2, bogeys 6, and then gets hot. My man was not going away. Birdies 7, 8, and 9. Birdies 11 and 15. He does make bogey or par on 16. Felt like a bogey the way that hole was playing that day. Wayward drive, then couldn't lay it up far enough down due to the water, and then hit a poor shot in there. I mean, not that poor. I mean, it hit the green. It just wasn't close enough. Xander, like I said, wobbly, gets out early, makes a couple bogeys, makes a bogey early, then makes a couple late. Kind of similar story for Wyndham Clark. Never felt super, super comfortable with what I was seeing from him off the tee. It was a little anxiety ridden. He made a couple bogeys on the back nine as well. But like I said, almost goes birdie on 16, 17, 18 to send it into a playoff. But Scottie Scheffler, like we said, just all he has to do is for the event, he was plus 0.032 strokes gained putting for the event, plus just shy of plus 4 tee to green. The stuff I said before was the final round, which makes sense why Grayson Murray was so high, because I was like, what the hell happened? How'd that happen? Some other notable things. Maverick McNeely had a good week. He T10s it. I think that's pretty important for him going forward to keep his tour card. Joel Damon has a good week. He gets a T11, $600,000 for those guys in T11. So pretty nice chunk of change down there. Siwoo Kim continues to be a monster at the Players Championship, and it is so funny that anytime he popped up, you could just tell Kevin Kisner really enjoys talking about Siwoo Kim, all dating back to that President's Cup in 2017 at Liberty National, and Siwoo shaking that ass, shaking that ass. Siwoo was definitely shaking that ass this weekend. Matt Fitzpatrick was in one of the odder stories I've ever heard about a pro golfer, had put some weights into his irons and driver up in the grips to just kind of see that he's always kind of tinkering with stuff. And, well, he took it out of the irons because he didn't like it and then forgot to take it out of the driver. And it was in the driver for almost a year. Has just recently gotten it out and has started to play better again since. So that's pretty wild. But circling back, Scottie Scheffler, man, this dude, we've always said all he's got to do is not lose ground on the putting surface, and he's going to win events. And if he does putt well, he wins them going away. The last 2 weeks are the absolute purest example of that. He had an incredible week putting at Bay Hill and ran away with it. He just .032 to the positive strokes gained putting this week, and he wins. It's that simple. Like, if this dude can just not lose ground on the green, he's going to win, and it's incredible. He's doing the way he's striking the ball. I've said it before. It's like Tiger. It's like prime Tiger, which is bonkers to say, but it's true. It's going to be, the Masters is going to be a lot of fun. You got Brooks Koepka, John Rahm, both guys won majors last year. John Rahm at the majors coming back. You know, you're adding some of the live guys who can, you know, kind of show up around Augusta. You know, Patrick Reed is liable to play well at Augusta. Phil maybe, who knows? Dustin Johnson. So I am super excited for the Masters. There were some stinkers from some guys. You know, Justin Thomas missed the cut. Max Homa played terribly. Ricky Fowler played terribly. Cantlay terrible. This course can eat you up and spit you out if you aren't doing it. I saw a lot of Matt Kuchar on Thursday and Friday. I didn't know he was still in it. Spieth missed the cut. So very interesting to see how those guys go from there. Justin Thomas was someone who I picked. I thought he was trending better, and that he's had success at this place in the past. But you notice when you're going through making, especially when you're making picks for this tournament, that if you start looking for guys who've got a great track record here, you won't find somebody with like an awesome track record start to finish. Like, they'll have moments where they've won, they've played very well, they've had top tens, but then you look at it and there's like, oh, there's a miscut. Oh, there's a miscut. So it's very interesting. Another interesting one from this week, Rory, where he ended up finishing T19 at 9 under after starting the week with a 65 on Thursday. He hit 5 balls into the water this week, which I believe was the record for anyone in like the top 20 or something like that. There was something with that. It can't be a record. Someone splashed a ton of balls. But the record was, I think he made 26 birdies, which was close to the record for that. What else was I just looking through my notes here. Burns went really deep on Saturday. Brian Harmon goes 65-64 on Friday, Saturday, then a 68 on Sunday. So, I think that about finishes up. Let's move on, shall we? Time for some passing thoughts. I'm gonna keep this quick. NFL free agency continued to be wild. Keenan Allen was traded to the Bears for a 4th round pick, which seems wild to me. The Bears also traded Justin Fields to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers also got Russ Wilson. The Packers let go Aaron Jones after they signed Josh Jacobs. I think that made it in the last week's pod. Packers also signed Xavier McKinney. Packers re-signed A.J. Dillon, which was a little surprising, but it is on a very, very, very team-friendly deal. Just a couple other things here as I'm just kind of scrolling through. A couple movies that I've seen over the past week. First off, hot take. I know I'm going out on a limb here. I like U.S. Marshals. The movie U.S. Marshals, which is a spin-off sequel to The Fugitive with Harrison Ford. It focuses on Tommy Lee Jones' character, Sam Gerard. I like U.S. Marshals. I know it's not as good as The Fugitive. I still like it. I enjoy that movie. And I don't care what anyone thinks about it. I like it. So deal with it, people. Also saw iRobot at some point over the last week here. I like that movie too. That's a good movie. I don't think that's as much of a hot take as the U.S. Marshals one, but it's a good one. It's a good movie too. Let me just scan the pictures, see if I took any pictures. There was a gentleman. I took the wrong picture. I didn't take the whole thing. Of a couple guys in the NBA did a jersey swap. One gentleman has a last name of Dick, and another gentleman has a last name of Black, and those two decided to switch jerseys. And this is the order that they held them in: Black, Dick. That's how they decided to hold their jerseys. Good God. What else? Anything else here? I think that's about all. This pops up. I mean, they just Dazed and Confused came out in 1993 and was based in 1976. A comparable movie today would be based in 2007. I saw that and I thought to myself, so Superbad? Superbad is Superbad. That's Superbad. If we could make Superbad today, which you can't, unfortunately, it would be that. Anything else? I saw this one. When you're a tech guy and you hear grandma got a new cell phone. Any of you with grandparents that you have to help with cell phones or parents, that always happens. I think I'm all done. I think that's everything. Yeah, like I said, I was trying to keep this one quick. We had a lot going on already, so yeah, let's go wrap this thing up. What do you say? We'll go close it up. Closing time, everybody. Big thanks to Bucky and Jeff coming on doing the picks this week. Thank you to those guys. Thank you to everybody who watched. I appreciate all you guys. Thank you to producer Kevy. I'm recording this slightly after I recorded that and started working on the edit. He's probably getting a call. So thank you to everybody. We're back next week. We've got more NCAA basketball. That's going to be that's the next couple weeks, guys. Buckle up. It's basketball season. So thank you guys. Liquid IV, 20% off. Promo code LBDH. We're back next week with more basketball. Thank you, Bucky. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, producer Kevy. Till then, peace.